Coach, is only the 8th test to be washed out with the ball being bowled. What were your initial reactions when you saw the first and the second day that there was sunshine and still no play?
Well, personally, I was disappointed. We were very excited to play against New Zealand and sort of put ourselves up against the challenge of that. The players have worked really hard. We've been here and had warm-up games and matches and got ourselves accustomed to the conditions and weather, which is very, very unique here. So we were excited. Unfortunately, the weather's played its part, and it's made it difficult for us to get a game, and we're very disappointed.
Well, initially, was there a sense that it lacks world-class facilities, the venue?
I think it's a case of the time of year, and to try and play a test match this time of year is always tricky. So yeah, the facility's obviously disappointed that we haven't been able to play, and the way that the amount of water that's come down, it's unprecedented obviously for this time of year or the last sort of 3 days. But it would have been nice to have played some cricket for sure.
And you, Gary?
It's frustrating for us. I mean, it was our first test match against Afghanistan, and we were really excited about that as well. They've been great competitors of ours over the last few World Cups as well. We've had some great games of cricket. For us, we have the World Test Championship just around the corner in Sri Lanka as well. So the preparation towards that would have been really useful for us as well.
Gary?
So it's a new start for the New Zealand, the new relations with Afghanistan. So in next FTP, can we see Afghanistan touring New Zealand for all forwards too?
I'd like that to happen. I don't make the decisions around the future tours program and who tours, but I said it right from the start of coming here. Afghanistan have knocked just about every top team in the world over now, so they're certainly a force and becoming more and more of a force in world cricket. So I guess that's something for the Afghanistan and New Zealand boards to get their heads around.
Over the next FTP, Afghanistan is scheduled to play about 20 test matches, 20 odd test matches till 27. And the other day, Hashmatullah Shahidi had batted that there should be one test cricket venue for test cricket that will help in a home venue that will help the team in acclimatizing to the situation better, know the conditions well, the pitches and all that. What are your thoughts? You have been with the team for the last couple of years and you've seen how things are. So, what's your thought on that?
On what?
On having one particular venue as a fixed venue.
Yeah, I think if you have one fixed venue, then you can sort of iron out the sort of issues that would arise. I think that's always nice. But I think this is maybe a result of not having played a lot of Test cricket in the past and still trying to find sort of a venue that we can use consistently. So that would be nice. All I know is the players have worked really hard, and this has been something we've had on the FTP for a while and really looking forward to. The real sad thing is I think it was going to be a really good pitch, and it would have been a good contest, which is the disappointing thing, and so that's the most disheartening thing, I suppose, from all of us. Is it would have been, I think, a good game, whether we won or lost. I think the players would have learned a hell of a lot in this format of the game, which is the challenge going forward in red ball cricket for Afghanistan. But it's the occasion as well, the historic moment of playing against New Zealand for the players. They would have been very proud of that, and that's also very disappointing.
So, coach, 5 days, no play, not a single ball was good. What the players do all these 5 days? I mean, how did you spend these 5 days?
Well, we try to get a couple of gym sessions in, make sure the players are really active and working hard. And to be honest, the players don't, or I think nowadays the modern players don't need encouragement. They're always in the gym and training. We've got a one-day series coming up against South Africa, so towards the end of these last couple of days, I've had an eye on that, making sure our players are ready for the next series. I think as a coach, you're always looking a little bit ahead, perhaps, than what you're currently standing now. So I want to make sure when we play South Africa, we're ready in Dubai on the 18th. So when it became obvious we weren't going to get much play in this test match, you sort of shifted towards that way. So that's basically what we've been doing. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to play.
Gary, what were the activities in the New Zealand camp?
A lot of hallway cricket, so in the hotel, so lots of playing spin and things like that. Look, we similar to what Trotty said, our guys have been in the gym and working away. I mean, this was the first of 6 tests in Asia for us, so 3 more in India and 2 in Sri Lanka as well. So that's the most disappointing part for us, is that we've lost that, I guess, ability to be match hardened and match ready when we go into our test match next week. But look, the guys are really disappointed. It was an opportunity to play Afghanistan. It doesn't come around that often, and they have some unique sort of bowlers in that as well. That's always good to get your head around how you face them, and I guess the way they play is a little bit different to other countries. So it's always learning and what you can do whenever you get those match situations.
Jonathan, Afghanistan is fairly new to Test cricket. In fact, very new to Test cricket. You have played a lot of Test cricket. You come from New Zealand. Now, will there be a situation in the near future where you will also take care of the other aspects of Test cricket, like choice of venues, like so that we don't get to see a situation like this? Yeah, do you have a say in?
I don't know. I'm not a ground inspector, but I sort of leave.
Your advice.
Well, yeah, I'd love to be able to give advice, on a few things. So it's just whether the ACB or the sort of top management want to listen. That's the only problem. So for me, it's a case of making sure that the players are looked after, that the players are able to flourish and grow as a side in this format of the game. We've seen the development in the last 2 years in the white ball side of the game. So I'd like to see that progression and that desire and hunger for it to grow in the same manner. So I think at the moment, Test cricket, we need to look after the game as well, Test cricket worldwide, with regards to how it's perceived, and I want to see Afghanistan have the same sort of passion and desire in the red ball as much as it is in the white ball. So I think it's attainable, but like anything, it's going to take time, and it's going to take a lot of effort, and it's going to take a lot of communication between the management and the players and coaches.
There was a question added to that. You've been with them for quite some time. You've seen the domestic structure. Do you think that they have enough red ball cricket there back home?
No, I don't think enough red ball cricket is played. I think if you want to progress, you need to start at the grassroots for to see the benefit of that. I don't think enough red ball cricket is played. But again, it's a very new to the format. I think facilities wise, but it maybe is the issue. I think because there certainly isn't a lack of players. People are desperate to play cricket, and so the passion is there. It's about now being able to match the passion with the ability to allow the players to enhance and get better at this format of the game. But I think it's maybe an issue worldwide with regards to red ball, the lure of white ball cricket and the lights and the glitz and the glamour. But if you ask anybody, the most satisfying format of the game is Test match cricket, and I think that's still the case for the last time I checked. But and it's the most rewarding as well, I find, as a coach, but also when I was a player.
Jonathan, the first 2 days, it was bright sunshine throughout the day. What was the discussion among the players when they came to the ground and saw it absolutely sunshine, but not being able to play?
I think disappointed. We'd geared ourselves up and we'd trained really well. So really disappointed. And the thing was, we got to train on the square the days before, so we got to see the pitch, and the guys were starting to get their appetite for the game was growing even more. So heartbreaking not to be able to play. And what I hope it is just a good learning case. That things can crop up, and not everything has to be sort of everything's got to be checked out and made sure that it's ready for Test match cricket. And I think sometimes we take that for granted when we go and play. All these things have already been done in the past for other nations or other venues. So sometimes we take those things for granted with regards to drainage or ground stuff and all those sort of things. I think the ground stuff have worked, obviously, very hard here. It's just unfortunately it hasn't materialised, and we've had a freakish amount of rain for this time of year because that's what I'm being told by the locals. So they're probably no better than me.
And would you like to add to that? What was the discussion among the players, and you? What did you talk to them? when you came to the ground, bright sunshine for the first 2 days?
Yeah, look, I mean, it's worth noting, I think there's been 1,200 millimetres of rain in the last week, and even though it was fine for those 2 days, there were thunderstorms the nights before, and the ground was just too soft, and the umpires deemed that unfit to play on. So that's sort of out of the players' hands in a way as well. But look, we were frustrated as well. We've come here to play cricket and play a test match, and as Jonathan said, the test cricket, certainly to our group of players that are here, that's very, very dear to their hearts, and every test you get to play in is a big one. So regardless of whether it has World Test Championship points or not, that opportunity to get out there for 5 days, it looked a great surface. The whole block looked fantastic. So I'm sure it would have been a great game of cricket.
Yeah, coach, for New Zealand, this seemed to be the most expensive training session they had. You fly down thousands of kilometers just for a few net sessions. How did the players take it?
Well, look, we prepared back home as well, so we had 3 camps leading into coming here. So it's one of the things that I've been stressing with our players here, that let's not get disheartened that we haven't had this, because we have actually prepared very well beforehand. On wickets in New Zealand that we got to turn and tried to replicate the subcontinent. Again, 1,200 millimetres of rain in a week is hard to imagine. And look out there now, you can see just about the whole ground's been covered, yet there's still water around everywhere. So yes, that's the tough thing. You can't help the weather from time to time.
Just expect 2 more questions,
Hi coaches, it was unfortunate that the match didn't happen, but are you thinking to have a replay of this test match soon?
I don't know, do you want to come to New Zealand?
I'd tell you what, New Zealand's the best tour in the world. So, as long as it's in Queenstown.
Okay, so now New Zealand was about to play a test game, I think after a 5-6 months gap. Now you're going to Sri Lanka, and then you'll be back to India. So do you think that Sri Lanka tour will be a preparatory camp for to face India back home here?
Absolutely not. I mean, the World Test Championship is alive and well, and we're currently in 3rd place, and we want to make the finals again. So we've been there once in the past, and we're desperate to get there again. So every test match we play will be an important one. The conditions that we face in Galle will be, I'm sure, different to Bangalore, Pune and Mumbai when we come back here again. So it's still about adapting to the different surfaces we're on, learning from those, but also, I guess, banking the knowledge that you've created in the past. And even though it's been a couple of trainings out there, we'll still bank on what we've learned in those sort of pitches.
Thank you.
Jonathan, one last question.
Were there any discussions about playing a limited over game in case the ground was ready for like last couple of days?
There were a few things discussed, but we look at the ground today and it was never really going to be attainable, unfortunately. I think the other thing is you got to make sure that there's obviously a huge desire to play cricket, but the safety of the players, because New Zealand have got a huge tours coming up, unfortunately you've got to take that into account. So as much as we want to play cricket, we've got to make sure we've got an important series against South Africa, we've got an important one-day series against them and a few more before the Champions Trophy. And so we don't need any severe things to go wrong. So I'm going to watch with keen interest the series against Sri Lanka and then obviously India. And I wish New Zealand well in their test matches going forward, and hopefully we can play this test match some other time.
Jonathan, one last question. In the last couple of years, especially Afghanistan has done really well in the ODI World Cup and then reaching the semi-finals of the T20 World Cup. But back home, we are seeing what kind of other players, the domestic players, geared up for test match cricket, and we are seeing averages more than 55, 60, Bahir Shah, Riaz Akhil, or Naveed Zadran going really well. How serious and how geared up are they for test match cricket?
I think just geared up for cricket in general, not just test match cricket. I think as I said, the desire is huge for the game, the passion for the game, and with the likes, the heroes that have come out of Afghanistan, Nabi, Rashid, watching all these players now playing in the franchise leagues around the world, the players see what's attainable when growing up and what can be achieved. So hopefully we can get some test heroes as well, some players who can dominate test cricket, and I think that's the next challenge.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.